All right, Wilson, let's get the weekend started. It's Friday, 6/29, downtown, a chilly 33 degrees out there. We had 26 at the ranch this morning. Here's a look at first news. Fair, accurate, you get the damn truth. Tropical storm Trami is blown away from the Philippines now. 65 people were dead, a lot of flooding, a lot of landslides. Authorities scrambled for more rescue boats yesterday to save thousands of terrified people trapped on roofs. The trauma caused by the onslaught may not be over. The 11th and one of the most deadliest storms to hit the Philippines so far this year could be pushed back and actually make a return because of some high-pressured winds over the South China Sea. Vice President Kamala Harris is going to team up with Beyonce today for a rally in Texas aimed at highlighting the perilous medical fallout from their abortion ban, putting the blame all on Donald Trump. It's a message intended to register beyond Texas, as Harris's campaign is just Trump this, Trump that, with no real policy solutions, no real policy plans, just reasons that she doesn't like Donald Trump. In the meantime, Donald Trump's out. He's campaigning with all kinds of new things he's going to implement. Donald Trump said China's leader, Xi, would handle Vice President Kamala Harris like a baby if she's elected to the White House. Trump's followed comments yesterday after he did an interview with Tucker Carlson and a Trump rally and said that Xi Jinping would walk circles around her if those two had to deal. There's an international criminal court, and they're trying to bring crimes against Benjamin Netanyahu for doing the dirty work of the world after they were blatantly attacked by terrorist groups on October 7th, funded and supplied by Iran. Now the International Criminal Court is going after him for defending his nation and their sovereignty. Some progressive Democrats are worried about Kamala, said she risks losing the support of a significant portion of political base unless she changes her campaign's closing message. Progressive leaders believe that she's been too focused on winning in recent days at the expense of her own party's real passionate liberals. They said that Harris's closing message, which has been just focusing on Donald Trump, is ignoring a lot of what the nation is worried about: economic struggles, the working class. Bernie Sanders is also sharing his concerns, said he has to start talking more to the needs of the working class people instead of about Donald Trump. Eric and Lyle Menendez still have a long way to go before they can walk out of prison, even though an L.A. district attorney recommended that their life without parole sentence be thrown out and those brothers be resentenced immediately and eligible for parole. They were convicted in those 1989 killings of their parents. It happened at their home in Beverly Hills. A judge will need to go along with the DA's recommendation. The final stop is with the California governor, who could reject the board's decision. 4 astronauts are back on Earth after a space station mission that lasted 8 months. The SpaceX capsule carrying the crew parachuted into the Gulf of Mexico before dawn this morning. 3 Americans, 1 Ruski, should have returned from the space station 2 months ago, but their homecoming was stalled because of problems with Boeing's new Starliner crew capsule. That came back empty in September because of safety concerns. Then there was Hurricane Milton. Then there was the other hurricane. The astronauts were launched to that space station in March. Now, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams, they are still up there. Those folks will remain up there till February. And Butch and Suni said, no worries. We're killing time up here, Mark. I'm sure they are. Wouldn't it be great? No gravity. Just think of that, folks. The things you could do. They're fine. They'll be coming back in February. Big headline this week, of course, about the E. coli break at McDonald's. Food poisoning outbreaks tied to McDonald's and Boar's Head now have left Americans wondering whether there's new risk with our food supply. Experts who track food safety said improvements are needed, but the situation in America is not getting worse. Federal officials said our food supply is the safest in the world. Consumers worried about avoiding infection can take steps at home to reduce your risk, but suggests people ask retailers, restaurants, and officials to make food safety a top priority. And we've implemented so many things over the last years that increase the safety of your food, proper temperatures, all kinds of things that restaurants have to do now to make sure your food is safe. For the first time under President Joe Biden, a federal permit for a new lithium mine has been approved. Now, this is a Democrat dilemma because Democrats and their base hate mines. They close all of them. Look what they've done to coal. They want all of them closed. But this is a lithium mine, and lithium is needed for electric car batteries.
Right.
And they're pushing car battery development and electric cars down our throats. So they got to have a lithium mine, or we're going to require Africa, China, and other places to send all our lithium in. So they approved it. The project's in Nevada, and they call it part of their clean energy plan by opening up this new mine. Now, conservationists and other environmental people are furious with the administration. An Australian-based mining company near the California line will expedite the production of lithium. So, once again, a foreign country is going to get that project. It is critical for the manufacturing of batteries for electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are at the center of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's push to get rid of gas emissions. Critics of the deal said it's violating the Endangered Species Act. They said they are going to sue Kamala Harris and Biden for this new mine permit. Wall Street drifted to a mixed finish yesterday. Tesla surged. IBM slumped after the latest profit reports came out yesterday. The S&P was up 0.2 of a point. The Dow Industrial Average fell 140 points yesterday. NASDAQ techie stocks up 138 points yesterday at the closing bell. Russia's central bank has just raised their interest rates. You think ours are bad? In Russia, their interest rates now 21%. They're trying to combat inflation over there, and their government spending on military is straining their economy's capacity to produce goods and services, causing some problems over there in Russia. By the way, European markets are opening lower today as well. A lot of pressure on the European markets across China, Hong Kong, and in Japan. A judge in New York, a district judge, stopped a merger between the makers of Coach and Michael Kors handbags, saying it would reduce competition and hurt consumers. That's right. This judge, in her ruling, said that it would close competitors out. The merger would result in the loss of head-to-head competition. She thought it would raise prices for shoppers. The decision followed 7 days of testimony. It would block about an $8 billion merger of those two brands. Boeing factory workers voted against their company's contract offer yesterday. Still, they're in talks, but Boeing thinks that could possibly be their last offer, so it's not looking good for them. Oh, by the way, the Biden administration investigating competition in air travel. They announced investigation looking into the effect of mergers and joint ventures between airlines. 4 airlines dominate the U.S. airline industry right now: United, Delta, American, and Southwest. They'll also look into the way air travel is priced and sold. And they're also going to look at frequent flyer programs. The Justice and Transportation Department will take comments on it till the 20th. Government. They're getting involved in business, everything. They want to take over. Folks, by the way, United, Delta, American, they all bought up smaller airlines, and they allowed that to happen. They allowed it to happen, but they're going to prevent the merger between two purse companies, Coach and Michael Kors. You get mixed messages all the time, folks, out of Washington, D.C. Here closer to home, a Montana judicial panel recommended that our attorney general be suspended from practicing law because he defied their court orders and attacked the integrity of the justices. Yeah, you can't have an opinion on justices, folks. I could tell you about those justices. Both sides have 30 days to object to it. The Montana Supreme Court will make their determination. How in the hell you think they're going to vote? Yeah. It's dominated by liberals on our Supreme Court. Our liberals just decided, folks, that your kids don't have to tell you about medical procedures. They could go do it on their own. They don't have to tell mom and dad, this is our court. You know how they're going to rule. I'm just saying, folks, the two sons, that's who you want on the Supreme Court if you're voting. Don't have to listen to me, but you can do what you want. But they are going to review it. I think we all know how that review will come out. And the last Kmart on the United States mainland sits alone on the west end of a suburban Miami shopping center. All around it, thriving chain stores attracting steady streams of customers. Marshall's, Hobby Lobby, PetSmart, Dollar Tree. Kmart once had 2,000 stores. Bad management decisions allowed Walmart, Target, and then eventually Amazon to just eat away at their customer base. The Miami store became the last one in 50 states because the only other one was in Long Island. And that closed last Sunday. So it's kind of nostalgic there. It'll be sad if it closes, according to the people down in Miami. Everything now is on computers. The last full size there in New York closed last Sunday. The Miami store is now only a fraction, by the way, of its former size. You remember how large they are. Kmart at one point had 2,500 locations around the country. And then because of evolution, they just started losing some business. And you had places like CVS and Walgreens. They got into drug stores and businesses. And all these things just chipped away at Kmart for so many years. And everybody, well, not everybody, but older folks remember the attention Kmart shoppers things that would come over the speaker and everybody would listen attentively to see where the blue light was going to be.
Oh, blue light specials were awesome.
See if it was going to be on Spalding golf balls, now marked down for the next 10. Remember, and it was only for a certain amount of time.
Right.
Next 10 minutes, get a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $1.29 or anything like that. Everybody always listened to it. Kmart was founded in Michigan in 1962, grew quickly to 2,000 stores in just 20 years. And in the 80s, it was the second largest retailer behind Sears. Sears is already gone. The roots of Kmart decline laid during a decade when management brought Walden Books, Borders Books, and others, thinking the company needed diversification. You know, Kmart owned all of them. The Sports Authority, Kmart owned Office Max, and they lost some money on all of those quickly. They declared bankruptcy in 2002, and then Walmart and Target just devoured their market share, and that's what happened to Kmart. But there's still one left down in Miami, but that's it. That's all that's left. Cat Country News Time is 6:44.
In sports from the NFL, I didn't watch the Thursday night game because I can't get Amazon Prime on my smart TV because I don't know what my password is. So I didn't watch the game. Been a lot of talk this season, though, about the Kansas City Chiefs getting calls and winning games because of it. I would like now to address everybody on behalf of the Los Angeles Rams. That was a face mask.
Oh, yeah?
That was a face mask.
You saw it?
It was a bad one.
Well, what happened?
A defender number 0 got his hand up in the face of the quarterback for the Vikings while he was in the end zone. And rather than being a 15-yard penalty coming out, that became a safety. And the Rams, who haven't put 30 points up on anybody in the last 10 games, put 30 on Minnesota last night. And if you watch ESPN, 2 weeks ago, Minnesota was going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. There wasn't anybody that can beat them.
No.
They lost 2 in a row now.
Yeah, 5-2. So, and also the coach addressed the trade rumors for wide receiver Cooper Kupp. He said, "We're not trading him. You don't trade your best guy." So he thinks he's going to be on the sideline.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a nice day today. Partly sunny skies, 55. That's good. Moving calves today. Perfect weather for that. 70 tomorrow and 72 on Sunday. Just a beautiful dynamite weekend. You know, they have the big trick-or-treating event tomorrow from 1 to 4 out there in front of Candy Town.
That's going to be awesome.
It was cold last year. This year it's going to be beautiful. Take your kids out there, all kind of stuff, decorate. They're just going to be a big celebration out there. Fundraiser for Tumbleweed. We're big fans of theirs. Next week, we're going to cool off down into the 50s and 40s. But that's, it's November.
Yeah.
Dang near.
Knocking on the door.
Yeah. 33 at the airport. And, we know there's freezing temperatures around this morning. 6:46, and that's what's happening. Mark and Paul, I don't know about you folks, but Mark and I, we could use some of that.